Onyx, they seem to be still doing something. Because not too long ago, there was a post talking about what are we testing today. They posted that. And they were talking about the testnet when it comes to their layer one blockchain. Which, isn't that kind of the point of a testnet, testing it? But even besides that, even though nothing I say is financial advice, people like to tell me, well, why is this the main thing I even talk about when it comes to the testnet of their layer one blockchain? Here's my point of view. If I was not even enthusiastic about what they're trying to do when it comes to the layer one blockchain, why would I even hold XCN right now, right? Because literally the main focus right now when it comes to it is arguably, I would say, it's layer one blockchain called Goliath. If I was not even remotely excited when it comes to that, I would just not even care anymore. I would just exit. I mean, it's pretty easy for me to exit XCN actually. Like, no one is telling me to do this, right? But at the same time, if I was not a fan of what a project that I'm a fan of is doing, then clearly I would not be a fan of that project. It's like, for instance, if let's say I was not a fan of superhero movies, or let's say I was not into watching Batman, would I watch Batman? No, but then in this case, I actually do like watching Batman, so then I watch the movies, but then I also at the same time, I like Onyx, which is why I'm still holding. I don't have to though, but I guess I'm doing it because I like it. So when people like to say, why do you keep talking about this? Well, it's basically kind of like arguably the biggest thing they've done, I think, historically speaking. So what else can I talk about? Unless Onyx does something that eclipses this, which I think in the kind of 6 month to a year time frame, it's a little bit difficult because they haven't even launched the mainnet yet, right? So, of course, how can they eclipse something that they haven't even launched the mainnet for? But still, even despite that, when I take a look down, from the camera, it's usually to see like the chart or something like that. So when people like to say, oh, are you reading off a teleprompter? No, it's just looking at the screen. I have to take a look at the screen, right, to see the price and whatnot. If not, how can I know what's going on when it comes to that? I can't just randomly say, oh, the number is this or the number is that without looking. But even besides that, XCN is now currently around 50 times lower than 25 cents. The pullback has been very intense, and actually, if I take a look at the pullback that we saw back in April, we're below that point, by the way, as of right now. The market cap when it comes to XCN is currently around slightly under 180 million, around that range, basically. So the pullback has been pretty extensive. However, when I take a look at ZBCN, and also recently, right, which ZBCN, by the way, is arguably, I think, the closest competitor when it comes to Onyx. But besides that, like Sebek not too long ago, they actually went lower than the market cap they had back in July, around that time, right? So when it comes to that as well, like even its closest competitor is also kind of experiencing more or less the pullback to a certain extent. Of course, XCN has had a bigger pullback historically, at least in the past year. However, they both are kind of having a significant pullback, which I think showcases that it's not only just XCN in this case, altcoins are also just generally not doing the best. However, what I like about Onyx is that they still seem to care about their layer one blockchain. I mean, some of the projects out there, it seems like the thing they want to launch stays in the testnet, quote unquote, forever. Now, there's no way to know exactly forever or not, because a lot of projects out there, they're kind of new, right? They haven't been around for so long, so there's really no way to tell. But sometimes it's like the testnet has started, and then 6 months passes by, 8 months, a year and a half. What really happens? We just don't know. And then 2 years passes by. They're like, yeah, we're still working on the testnet. It's like, okay, does it take that long? I mean, even Onyx is planning for the mainnet in Q1 of 2026. So does it really take that long? I mean, who knows, right? But besides that point, I'm assuming it seems like a little bit of a long time. Maybe it's that long. But besides that point, people like to say, again, what Onyx seems to be doing doesn't seem that significant. But here's the thing. If the idea of Onyx launching a layer one blockchain is for whatever reason not such a good thing, then why would I personally, if I was in that situation, why would I believe in the project, right? If let's say I complain so much about a certain project, if I complain so much about what it's trying to do, if I say, oh, it's not doing the best things, then why would I even believe it in the first place? Why would I even care about the project, right? That's kind of my mindset. Now, if it's the opposite of that, if let's say I do like those aspects of what a project is doing, then of course I'd be a fan. But then in this case, I'm a fan because I seem to like what they're doing, even though it's not the most significant thing out there, even though it's not the coolest thing out there. I still kind of like the concept of Onyx because I think it's in a niche that doesn't have too much hypothetical direct competitors in the space of global trade and finance, just more specifically within this space. I just don't think there's like 20 or 30 sort of compelling options to me. Now, this is just my take on this. I'm not telling anyone to do anything, but the way you take a look at it is that when it comes to Goliath, you know what? It's layer one blockchain. I think that at least them trying, or at least still seeing them focus on this, it makes me still a fan of the project, even though it's not the most significant thing out there. It's like, for instance, right? If I was not impressed with Dogecoin or Shiba Inu, why would I hold it? You know? Am I gonna just sit here and complain all day about what they're not doing or how insignificant the things they seem to be doing are, hypothetically in a make-believe scenario? No, I would not do that. So when it comes to Onyx, when there's a lot of complaints about their layer one blockchain not really being such a cool thing, even I don't know if it's going to be a cool thing or not because I have not seen the mainnet, right? But I just still like the hypothetical concept of it, even though I can't know for sure because I have not seen the mainnet. But I'm saying I just kind of like the hypothetical idea of it. But then I cannot control anything, so this is why I'm just saying how basically I can only take a look at what I can look at and just, I guess that's about it. Personally, like let's say I want to be a tennis player. Like me being good or not, I cannot control that. The only thing I can control is just, the effort, my training. I'm not a tennis player, by the way, but I'm just using it as an example. But if let's say I wanted to be a tennis player, the only thing I can control is my training and my dedication, right? Beyond that, I can't, control how good I can be. You know what I mean? I guess. Like, because some people I know out there, they train a lot when it comes to something, but then sometimes they don't become a professional athlete, right? So again, there is sometimes that vibe that I do see, but also in my perspective, when it comes to this space, if I believe in a project, does it mean it's going to be hypothetically doing this or doing that? Like, no, like I have no control over that. But of course, to me, I am aware of that, which is why I am just taking a look at what I can see and just, I guess, staying patient. I don't have to, but I'm just saying I'm voluntarily doing that anyways, because I still like what they seem to be doing. Because to me, like, Onyx back then, back in January, there was really nothing significant going on for it in my perspective. Like, what could I really take a look into to say that, oh yeah, Onyx is pretty cool in this aspect? The only thing I thought was maybe was a kind of a miniature version of Stellar, gave me that vibe a little bit. But beyond that, there was really nothing fundamentally. Now there's actually something for me to take a look at. So if anything, I think fundamentally, if I was a fan back then, seeing something like this, it showcases to me kind of at least the progression of it fundamentally. Now, in terms of the price, it's a completely different case. Of course, not doing good, but I'm saying in terms of the fundamentals, this is how I feel about it. But that's all I can do actually. But of course, I wanted to just make a video on this to talk about how I feel and just kind of this, I guess, update and what I think about it. I want to say thank you for watching. I greatly appreciate it, and I'll be sure to make more videos, hopefully, when it comes to Onyx and talk more about the updates, and I'll catch you on the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye. It's only the captain.